The best kept secret in English education is the daily genius in our classrooms that we sit on top of because we don't know how to share it. It's not critical until it gets outside the doors, right? It's powerful inside the doors. It's revolutionary when it's shared. But we're not often taught to think of ourselves in that way. Who am I? Right? And Jabari talked about the Chaucer in the English class as a 23-year-old. Who am I? Like, I know that the kids are engaged, but who am I to tell this story? Right? And that's part of what we have to do is see ourselves as telling those stories. I tell people about being radicalized. I mean, I'm a child of the Civil Rights Movement. My parents went to school with the Black Panthers, but I just wanted to be a playwright. And I wanted to teach kids about writing. I became radicalized when I became a high school teacher and I saw the conditions that my children were living in, that I was teaching. And I realized that there are some things that we are doing here that I wouldn't mind seeing replicated in other classes. And so I had to overcome that, wanting to be a playwright, super shy. My aunt said, "How can you be a teacher? You don't even like to talk." And I am, I am the shyest person I know. I really am. But it was love. It was love that did it. It was love for my students. And it was that love manifested in a sincere concern for what was happening, but also a sense of hope that there is something we can do about this, right? That there is a future otherwise. We also have to see ourselves becoming advocates for change. I love the public work of composition, CEL, the Conference on English Leadership. Some of these pictures are from our advocacy day. How do we advocate? Well, we advocate internally in our districts. We advocate with our departmental colleagues. We advocate to parents and the public in our neighborhoods. We advocate to school boards. We advocate to state boards of education. We advocate federally, right? If the people who teach communication can't communicate, who's going to be able to communicate, right? We know how to do this. This is our living, right? We are writers, speakers, thinkers, and teachers. Advocating is not complicated. The complicated part is having the courage to do it. We know what to do, right? I think the hard part is doing it alone. And so part of a movement, it's much easier to walk in front of that tank when you got like 14 or 14,000 of your buddies walking out on that road with you. It's much easier to face fire hoses when there are like 5,000 of you and you are singing gospel hymns as you walk into those hoses. It is much easier when you are walking with people. NCTE should be the place to say, if you are about literacy and social justice, you don't have to walk alone. Right? You do not have to walk alone. And so, to me, it's not about making the case for advocacy. It's about making the case for you as advocates. And I know I felt the same way. I knew advocacy needed to happen, but who was I? Well, who are we? We are the most powerful literacy organization in this country. And we are the oldest literacy organization in this country. We have the power to act. We have the moral obligation to act.